Welcome back, babe. Can I get you anything? Sorry, no sex. Just cleaned the bar.
Just looking around.
Pleasure as always.
Well, the thing I find interesting reading a lot of reviews, I think it's spot on the comment that it might seem at first glance superficially that there isn't as much richness and depth in terms of RPG progression systems and that, but if you feel that way, keep playing, because actually those systems are still there. They're just manifested in a different way that's more contextually appropriate, more sort of natural and intuitive. Like you grab your weapons off the rack as you head for an away team mission, you progress your characters through a advancement system. You have the research system is embedded into the ship itself is actually a character in a sense, where there's progression mechanics around the research as you upgrade your ship, and that's all integrated with exploration and finding new upgrades. And things like ammo are, instead of being on an inventory screen, are actually in your squad command wheel, where you equip them using your squad command wheel. It pops up and you they're equipped there, and then your armor choices are equipped in your cabin or in the armor lockouts that you encounter at various places throughout the game. So they're more embedded in the world. They're more embedded in the way you just in a more intuitive approach to progression and customization. But I think the same level of richness and depth and RPG mechanics is there. It's just we're really always trying to broaden the way the approachability of those systems, and I think we've achieved that with Mass Effect 2. I don't know. They seem to like the loading screens with tips on them and the graphics showing your ship landing and stuff. Some people said they like that too. I think they're faster overall than the elevators were. If you time them, I think you'll find that they're generally shorter. I mean, the game is big, and the areas we build and load into memory are really large too. So, loads are fairly normal for a game of this size with this much content. And, what we try and do is make that as efficient and technology as advanced as possible, so that we make it as painless as possible. But loading screens is not uncommon. In all, I believe there's 2 disk swaps that are required for Mass Effect 2. One about midway through and one near the end. And between the 2 disk swaps, we have tried to copy a lot of. We have a lot of the same content on the disks, so that you don't have to switch them and so on. So, 2 disk swaps isn't that painful, I don't think, for players. It's got a lot of content, more than the usual game, because it doesn't fit on one disk basically. So. We haven't announced any formally yet, but I can say that there is an ambitious plan on both Dragon Age and Mass Effect for a lot of post-release downloadable content, and larger size packs are not out of the realm of possibility on both too. And we've already announced the one on Dragon Age Awakenings, as you know. Well, you can expect to see quests and items and things that expand out the universe. And I guess how long the schedule continues probably depends on how well the fans support us as we build it. If they buy the content and show us that it's a good investment, and they're getting, they feel it's a good value for their money, and they're getting rewarded for us building content at high quality, we'll continue to build more.
Could that effectively mean that you support Mass Effect 2 till Mass Effect 3's launch?
They could, yeah, they could. It depends on what the fans, how they approach it.
You know what would make your services more popular? An endorsement from the man who defeated Saren.
Oh my, you're Shepard, aren't you? I would be glad to give you my employee discount if you would do that for us.
It's a deal.
Just speak into my console here.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I'll work it into our advertising at once. Thank you.
Well, we haven't announced Mass Effect 3 formally yet, although we said we're working on the next installment in the trilogy, which is probably a clue that we are working on it. We'll have more details to share on that later. But I think I can say we have a plan, and we've had this plan for a while in terms of the story arc of Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3, and this grand, epic, sprawling story that spans the galaxy.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Well, we have a lot of ideas, and we're looking for feedback, from the fans and the press. We're going to collate the feedback we get from reviews and from fan forums and so on, and then use that to help drive over the direction in terms of the gameplay and the features and the way you play Mass Effect 3 as we build that game out. The team's already working on the installments. We have some ideas. We're looking for more sources of feedback as more reviews come out, and as more fan feedback gets expressed in the forums. it's basically the plan of, we've accommodated some of the choices you made in the save game for Mass Effect 1. If you choose to import that into Mass Effect 2, you don't have to. It's a standalone adventure that has a beginning, middle, and end, really satisfying and epic and fun. Well, some of those choices will manifest in the game, but we also keep track of a few things maybe that we didn't use from the save game from the first one, and if they're, we make some of those choices available and have impact in the third installment, well, I think players will find that really satisfying. We will definitely carry on the franchise after Mass Effect 3, but it may not be a direct continuity of storyline. It may be a different timeline, different part of the universe, and so on. There's lots of ways we can explore it.
So we can safely say that Mass Effect 3 will be the end of Shepard's story, and the end of Shepard, basically.
I wouldn't say it's safe to say that. I'd say it's a possibility, but right. All we said for right now is we planned a trilogy, and I guess you could say as well that we have plans to continue the franchise beyond that trilogy, but the details haven't been revealed yet what we're going to do. If we build multiplayer in our products, and we've done that before with Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, the games that we're building with multiplayer embedded in them, they're really designed around that as a core design pillar. Nothing's out of the realm of possibility, and if we announce those kind of features in a separate product or some, in the future, I think fans will be really excited by that. I think you can also say there's a place for a really rich single-player RPG with a great story arc that's a personal hero's journey, and that's kind of what we're building with Mass Effect or Dragon Age, in the current installments.
I assume everything is going well up here?
This thing wants to fire me over a joke. Okay, I said I'd flash the AI core, but I was kidding. And we'd only lose a few systems. Nosy ones.
To clarify, human resources adjustments are not actually under my authority.
Then why? Why are you always picking on me?
My replies were intended to provoke, though not to cause distress. Your reactions are atypical of most humans. You are interesting.
She pushed your buttons to get a rise out of you. About time you were on the receiving end.
Yeah, great. I just got worked by the intercom.
It was not my intent to breed hostility, Mr. Moreau, but you did instigate our interaction.
Okay, but think of it this way. Shut up.
That's it for now.